Namaste students. Today we will discuss about the nutrition in plants. Like other organisms, plants they also require food for getting energy. Now how food that is prepared in case of plants by the process of photosynthesis. So as all of you know that what is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis means that plants they prepare their own food as they are autotrophic organisms by carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight, chlorophyll, it will form glucose plus 6 oxygen. Okay. So these are the four conditions that are required for the photosynthesis process. First, that is carbon dioxide, water molecules, sunlight and chlorophyll molecules. Okay, so these are the four conditions, and how these four conditions that are fulfilled, how the plants they will get these four conditions like water from the soil, as the roots they absorb water. Now from the roots water molecules they will travel through stem and it will reach to leaves, because in the leaves the photosynthesis reaction it occurs, and carbon dioxide they take from the atmosphere and sunlight from sun, and chlorophyll molecules that are present in the chloroplast and chloroplasts that are present in the leaves itself, and after that glucose it is formed. C6H12O6 it is the formula of glucose, and it releases oxygen in the atmosphere through stomata. Even carbon dioxide also they take through the stomata which are present in the leaves. So the exchange of gases it occurs through the stomata in the leaves. Okay, now next is that this glucose it is transported to different parts of the plants, and the extra glucose it will be stored. Extra glucose it is stored in the form of starch. It is stored in the form of starch. Okay, now we will discuss about the three main steps of the photosynthesis. So what are the three main steps of photosynthesis? First is absorption of sunlight. Absorption of sunlight energy by the chlorophyll molecules. Second, that this sunlight energy it will be converted into chemical energy. Sunlight energy it will be converted into chemical energy. And next is the splitting of the water molecules. Splitting of water molecules by the sunlight energy into hydrogen and oxygen. Now next is reduction of the carbon dioxide. Reduction of the carbon dioxide by the hydrogen molecules to form the carbohydrates. Let's discuss again what are the three main steps of the photosynthesis. First is absorption of sunlight energy by the chlorophyll molecules. Then these sunlight energy it will be converted into chemical energy. Splitting of the water molecule, because water that is also one condition that is required for the photosynthesis. So water, it will get split to form hydrogen and oxygen. Now this hydrogen, it is responsible for the reduction of the carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide that the leaves, they will take from the atmosphere. Now when the reduction of carbon dioxide will be there, then it will form carbohydrates. So next, students will discuss about that what are the main raw materials for the photosynthesis process. So there are two main raw materials for the photosynthesis process, that are carbon dioxide and water. Now how the plants, they obtain carbon dioxide and water. So first we will discuss that how the plants, they obtain carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide, they obtain through the stomata. Okay, and if suppose we will discuss about the structure of this stomata, then stomata, it consists of guard cells, two guard cells that are present, which control the opening of the stomatal pore. Like these are the guard cells, and these guard cells, they control the opening of the stomatal pore. So these are known as guard cells, and this one, that is the stomatal pore. And when does it is responsible for the opening of the stomata. So when does stomata, it opens? So when guard cells, they take water, okay, like guard cells, when they take water, then they swell up, become curved, as you can see here, that they become curved, and because of that the stomata, it will get open. Okay, so when the stomata, it opens up, then the carbon dioxide, it will enter in the stomata, means it enters through the stomatal pores. And when it does not require the carbon dioxide, at that time the stomatal pore, it will get closed. So now here you can see that it is showing the closed stomata. So when the plants, they do not require the carbon dioxide and they want to conserve water, because when the stomata, they remains open, at that time most of the water they will lose. So when they need to conserve water, at that time the stomata, they become closed. Now how the stomata, they will become closed? When the guard cells, they lose water. When the guard cells, they lose water, then they become straight, and when they become straight, like you can see here, then they are responsible for the closing of the stomatal pore. Closing of the stomatal pore. Okay. So in this manner, they take the carbon dioxide through the stomatal pore, and even they release oxygen also through the stomatal pores only. And if suppose we will talk about the distribution of the stomata in the leaves, then there are two kinds of leaves, that are dicot leaves and the monocot leaves. So in case of monocot leaves, the stomata, that are equally distributed on both these sides. Suppose this is the dicot leaf, then in case of dicot leaf, only in the lower case, means the lower region of the leaf, the stomatas that are present. But if suppose we will talk about the monocot leaves, so in that case the stomata, that are equally distributed over both sides of the leaves. So now next we will discuss about that how the plants, they obtain water. Plants, they obtain water through the process osmosis. As you know that plants, they take water, they take water from the soil, through roots, by the process of osmosis, by the process of osmosis. Now when the roots, they will absorb the water through the osmosis process. Then what will happen? Then from the roots it will transported to the stem, and from the stem it will be transported to the leaves through xylem vessels. These xylem vessels that are present in roots also, stem also, and leaves also. So they make a channel for the transportation of the water from the roots to the stem and to the leaves. And here in the leaves, the water that are transported to the mesophyll cells, to the mesophyll cells, which are also known as the photosynthetic cells, for the process of photosynthesis. Okay. Now again let's see that what we have discussed. Plants, they take water from the soil through the roots by the process of osmosis. Okay, so when water it will enter in the roots, then after that what happen? Through xylem vessels it will be transported to the stem, and through the same xylem vessels it will be transported to the leaves, where the mesophyll cells that are present. And in the mesophyll cells the photosynthesis it occurs, so that's why they are also known as photosynthetic cells. Okay, so here xylem vessels, they are acting as a transport channel for the transportation of the water from the roots to the leaves. Now next we will discuss about the site of the photosynthesis, that is the photosynthetic cells or mesophyll cells, which contain the chloroplast, and chloroplast which contain chlorophyll, where photosynthesis it occurs. Photosynthesis it occurs in the chloroplast, because chloroplast it contain chlorophyll pigments, and these chloroplasts that are present in the photosynthetic cells, which are also known as mesophyll cells. And we have already discussed that how these mesophyll cells, they receive carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and water from the soil. Okay, so now we will discuss about the structure, means the TS of the leaf, which shows how the chlorophyll and the chloroplast that are present in the photosynthetic cells, which are also known as the mesophyll cells. So now in this structure you can see that there are two layers of epidermis that are present, that is the upper epidermis and the lower epidermis. Okay, so upper epidermis and lower epidermis, they contain stomata, but in case of monocot leaf, the stomatas that are equally distributed in both the layers, means in the upper epidermis also and in the lower epidermis region also. But if suppose we will discuss about the dicot leaf, in dicot leaf, which are the broad shaped leaves, in that case the lower region it contain more number of stomata. Okay, now in the middle layer you can see the two layer of tissues that are present, that is the upper one, that is the palisade tissue, and the lower one, that is the spongy tissue. Okay, and both these tissue, they contain the mesophyll cells, which are also known as photosynthetic cells, in which the photosynthesis it occurs. As you can see in this diagram that the palisade tissue, it consists of the palisade cells, which are very tightly linked with each other, and in case of the spongy layer, the mesophyll cells that are loosely placed, and air spaces that are present, means the cavity that remains in between the mesophyll cells. And in these type of cells, the mesophyll cells, they contain chloroplast, and the chloroplast, they contain chlorophyll. Okay, and the upper region, means the upper epidermis, over that the cuticle layer that is also present, which prevent the loss of water by the process of transpiration, means the loss of water which occur through transpiration, so it is prevented by the cuticle layer. Okay, so now let's discuss that how these structure, means they take the carbon dioxide and water. So palisade and spongy. Palisade and spongy layer. They consist of mesophyll cells, and these mesophyll cells that are also known as photosynthetic cells. Why they are known as photosynthetic cells? Because photosynthesis it occur in these type of cells. Now next is that these mesophyll cells, they contain chloroplast. They contain chloroplast. Like one cell I will draw here. Suppose this is a photosynthetic cell and so many chloroplasts that are present. So these dot-like structures that are the chloroplast. So this is a photosynthetic cells which contain the chloroplast and chloroplast that contain chlorophyll. It contain chlorophyll which absorb sunlight. Okay, so sunlight it is also one condition for the photosynthesis. Means chloroplast which contain chlorophyll, and chlorophyll it is responsible for absorbing the sunlight. It absorbs sunlight. Okay, next is that carbon dioxide, CO2, it will be taken up from the atmosphere through stomata. From air, carbon dioxide that is taken up through stomata, and they also enter the mesophyll cells. They enter the mesophyll cells through the diffusion process. Okay, now next is water. So water also from roots, water from roots through xylem vessels, through xylem vessels they enter the mesophyll cells. Okay, xylem vessels which are present in the roots, then from the roots to stem, and from the stem to leaves, they will enter in the photosynthetic cells. So now the mesophyll cells, they are having carbon dioxide also, they are having water also, the chlorophyll, they absorb the sunlight also. So in this manner all the conditions are there in the mesophyll cells for the process of photosynthesis, and after the process of photosynthesis food it will be prepared, and the extra food it will be stored in the form of starch. Okay, not only the glucose that is required by the plants, even plants they also require nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, magnesium, and that they will obtain from the soil. And even the nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere, it is present in free form. It is present in free form. And so plants they don't take up that nitrogen which is present in the free form. So that's why they take up the nitrogen in the form of nitrates, which are converted by the bacteria, which are either present in free form in the soil or they are present in the symbiotic association with the roots. So there are so many nutrients that are required by the plants like nitrogen, iron, magnesium, phosphorus for building up their body. Okay, so that's all about nutrition in plants.